Sorry about that. What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I hope you like this video. This is Love and Listing Season 1, Episode 4. So we pick up where we left off with Zach and what's my girl name? Is it Samantha? Arguing. And the last thing, well, not the last thing, but one of the last things we remember Zach saying was, my thing didn't even get hard with you. And then they proceeded to go ahead and talk about his erectile dysfunction. And she was like, well, you told me that I wasn't the only one that happened to. He was like, nah, it get hard every night now with my new boo. You can call her right now. And I was like, are we really having this conversation over dinner? Like, this what we doing? And I mean, of course, everybody, like all the guys are sitting back like, what? You know what I mean? It was just an embarrassing conversation, period, and unnecessary. And it really, to me, it made Zach look worse. Like, I know they were both embarrassed, but it really made Zach look worse. To me, it did. So then, everybody sort of leaves. And at the end of the night, we had Miss Anjanae and Mr. Andrew. They was looking a little cozy, whispering and standing all close to each other and everything. And Miss Sarah's hilarious. Okay, I love Sarah. Sarah is freaking hilarious to me. Sarah was peeping it and was kind of like, what is going on here? So the next day, or may not be the next day, but we see her and Taylor having a conversation, and we see her telling Taylor all about it. Like, look, you know, um, basically repeating what she said, that she saw Ajane and Andrew getting a little cozy. And Taylor don't see it for Ajane. So she was like, was she drunk? Because she liked to drink. And she gets sloppy with it. And I was like, okay, we know you don't really like, you don't really like her like that. We get it. So we see, but keep our eye on the two of them. So then we see Eric and Ajane showing a property. They are at a custom, they call it a custom made model, and they're getting a first look. So I think it was something like a $12 million property. No, was it $30 million property? It was an expensive ass property. Her commission would have been something. Well, no, the commission on the sale would have been 75,000. She doesn't get the full 75,000 because remember she has to split what she does 60-40 with Eric. But hell, I'll take 60%. I'll take 40% of 75,000. Um, but it's a beautiful home, just like all these houses. It's a beautiful home, a lot of natural lighting, a lot of windows, blah blah blah. Real nice house. Then we see what happens next. Your boy, Suge's son. Y'all know who I'm talking about. He's going off to take his test. And, he's with Ty, and Ty's like, look, good luck. I know you can do this. I have faith in you. And he's like, I just feel really bad because everybody knows I haven't passed the test and I feel like dead weight and you showing me around and you carrying me, blah, blah, blah. Okay, he fails the damn test. I knew he was going to fail the test because when Ty asked him if he'd been studying, he hesitated. And my thing is, you hesitated a little bit too long. Your ass ain't studied. So he fails the test and he feeling all sorry for himself. And he on the phone with Suge. And Suge was like, all right, so you failed it. Take the shit again. And he was like, well, Dad, I'm hanging around these stuffy suits, these dudes with these tight suits on, and these women with these tight dresses. He was like, so you got enough time to keep your eye on what everybody's wearing, but you ain't got enough time to study and pass this test. He was like, what are your priorities? I said, look at Suge making sense. And he was like, yeah, you right. He was like, yeah, so I don't care how many times it takes you. You can take the test a million times, but you keep taking, don't you quit. Like, that's not what we do. We don't quit. You're going to keep taking that test until you pass it. But you got to do what you're supposed to do. Make sure that's where your focus is. Make sure you're studying. Boom, boom, boom. I said, okay, Suge, making some sense. So then we see Zach on a FaceTime call with Miss Tat 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 Tat. And he tells her what happened with Samantha, and he goes on to explain about the whole erectile dysfunction comment. And Kat is looking at him like, what? She was like, why are you discussing your penis? And he was like, well, she was coming at me talking about. You saw Zach's immaturity in this conversation. Well, she was coming at me talking about something. She could have me anytime she want. I was just trying to shut her down. He was like, Kat was like, okay, well, there's ways of doing that without bringing up your penis. He was like, yeah, you're right. You're right. She was like, and I don't know how I feel about, like no woman would feel comfortable with their boyfriend discussing their junk with the ex-girlfriend. Like, I don't know how comfortable I'm with this conversation. Like, why are they even discussing me? Why am I even coming up? I shouldn't even be the subject of conversation. And Zach was like, you know what? She was right. I was wrong. And I realized that, you know, the way I handled it was inappropriate. I was like, well, at least he realized that he was inappropriate. Because again, I was sitting here like, I don't know what made you think that was a good idea. And I don't know what made you think you was going to win that. Because that was just disrespectful. So then we see Taylor and Andrew. They're on their way to a property, and Taylor proceeds to let Andrew know, no, she's still not talking to her best friend Suge Knight's son. They still ain't made up or whatever. And they were talking about that night and how he was really on one that night. Like he kind of came at everybody. I don't think I included that in my review last week, but after him and Taylor got into it, he sort of snapped at the guys and was talking about this was his city and you gonna respect him. And they were like, as soon as you pass your test, we gonna respect you. Your city. Your city. Like they was really clowning him. So he was really on one that night. Like I don't know what was really good with him, but he was really on one. So then Taylor goes on to let Andrew know what Sarah said. Now she didn't say who said it. She didn't rat Sarah out, but she was like, look, some people, peeped y'all the other night at Paloma, and they felt like you and Anjanae were probably a little too close for comfort. As your mentee, I'm just letting you know what's being said so you can squash the rumors or handle it accordingly. So that really upset him. He was like, well, you're not going to tell me who said it? She was like, nah. She was like, if I tell you who said it, ain't nobody going to tell me nothing anymore. And then how am I ever going to get the tea? That's valid. She was like, but I'm just telling you what's being said so you'll know what's going on. But no, I'm not going to tell you who said it. And so he was upset by it, and he kind of had an attitude, and they were doing a showing with Jermaine Dupri. Now, here's the thing. You knew Jermaine Dupri wasn't buying that damn house when you told him the price was $60 million or something like that. And he was like, what? He was like, I'm from Atlanta. We could get like a whole city for $60 million, which he ain't lying about. But I don't mean no harm, but you knew then he wasn't buying the property. He's looking for an artist retreat, somewhere for his artists to go, I guess to be able to think and write and be creative. And then he gonna say, so what's up with the neighborhood and the neighbors? If we out here doing what we do, aka smoking weed, playing loud music, is anybody gonna call the cops? That's what that was. Nah, we good. So as Jermaine is going through the house, he's talking about all the things he wants to change. He wants to knock down walls. He wants to do this. He wants to do that. And Taylor actually ended up saving the day. Because at first I thought she was about to get herself in trouble because one of the walls he was talking about knocking down, she told him, you can't knock that wall down. That's a load bearing wall. That wasn't the wrong information. However, I was like, oh Lord, they about to get her again. But then as the showing went on and other things that Jermaine was saying, she was actually able to kind of answer his questions because Andrew had shut down. He was really in his head about this whole rumor. Now, it makes me wonder why he getting so upset over a rumor. But some people react differently to things. If it ain't true, why are you so worried about it? Me thinks he protests too much. But anyway, but Taylor actually, and the difference between Andrew and Ty was Andrew actually appreciated the fact that Taylor stepped up, knew her shit, knew how to have the conversation without, scaring off the client or whatever. Now, at the end of the day, Jermaine didn't buy the property, but like I said, we knew he wasn't gonna buy the property. Or at least we had a strong suspicion he wasn't gonna buy that property. But neither here nor there. So Andrew finally has to tell Ty that he failed the test, and Ty was understanding enough, but Ty was basically like, look, did you do everything you were supposed to do? Like, are you taking this serious? Like, don't worry about what other people are saying about you, but I need to make sure that you are taking this serious though. And he was like, I am, blah, 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 blah. So Andrew tells his fiance the rumor, whatever. And again, I say, I don't understand why you're making such a big deal about this rumor. I understand. On one hand, I understand telling her because you don't want her to hear it from somewhere else or you don't want her to be blindsided by it. But if it's not true, it's a rumor, people talk, it'll blow over in a couple of weeks. if people see y'all together a couple more times and y'all ain't in each other's face, it'll blow over. But he tells the girlfriend, I mean, the fiance about it, and the fiance was just kind of giving him the, what is it true? Like, what's the problem? Like, why would people think it? And she told him, look, at the end of the day, you have a fiance. You need to make that clear to everybody that you have a fiance. And all the rest of that is just bullshit. He was like, yeah, because this is the best thing that ever happened to me. I love my fiance. I love her. I don't want nothing to mess this up. She's the most. And I was just like, I just felt like Andrew was making a way bigger deal out of this than it had to be. But again, and Sarah said the same thing. Sarah was like, I feel like he's kind of doing a whole lot for something that ain't true. I feel the same way. But okay. So then this week's big scene is a beach scene. Zach is having a beach party. Instead of them going to the bar where they, normally go down to the bar, he's having a beach party. So the ladies on their way, they got on their bikinis and their bathing suits. And you could tell Ajane's not part of the crew. Because Ajane showed up on her own, whereas Taylor, Sarah, and Samantha, they rode together. So I was like, you could tell she's sort of odd man out. The guys are there. Now, here's the thing. Zach did not invite Samantha. Samantha invited herself, and not only did she invite herself, she drove. So I guess she was like, if we get there and he decided to put me out, everybody leaving because they roll with me. I said that was smart. That was smart. So they on their way there, they're talking. They're basically recapping. Taylor's letting them know that she talked to Andrew about the rumor and that Andrew was like, it ain't true, and he was really upset by it. They talk about well, I can't remember this boy's name, but anyway, Suge Knight's son. They talk about the fact that him and Taylor still aren't speaking, and she was like, "No, I haven't reached out to him. He hasn't reached out to me. Like that's, he's really my best friend, but the way he talked to me, was just unacceptable, and he owes me an apology." Which, in this one, she's kind of right. Like he did tell her that, he did kind of come at her sideways. But again, something was going on with him, and I don't know if it was something outside of the show or what, but he was really, really on one that night. So they get to the beach, and the first thing out of Zach's mouth, and he like, okay, I didn't invite her. Like, why is she here? And they have their moment. They had their food, and they, everybody's chilling or whatever. Couple of things go down at the beach. Sarah ends up talking to Suge's son, Suge Jr., and they actually get to flirting. Sarah's actually flirting with him, and he tells her that he didn't pass the test, and she was like, look, that's a hard test. I ain't passed it even the first, it took me a few times. He was like, how many times? Here goes Sarah. A few. Knowing Sarah, her ass took that test 20 times. But she kept, hold on. She kept taking it till she won. Till she passed it. And we know that she, according to this show, she's one of the top agents. So, hey, it is what it is. She said it's a hard test. She was like, you want me to tutor you? And he was like, if you really going to tutor me, like, I'm serious. No, I'm serious too. I tutor you. Now, all the while, Taylor is pissed. She was like, okay, maybe Sarah don't understand how this loyalty thing works. You're my friend. You're not supposed to be sitting here flirting with somebody that I'm not cool with. Like, what are you doing? So she's in her feelings. She's upset by the fact that Sarah's sitting there flirting with Jacob. Jacob, that's him. The fact that she's sitting there flirting with Jacob or whatever. But I'm sure we'll see more of that. Then we have Zach pull Samantha's side, and he, I don't know if he came right out and apologized, but he did let her know that, um, about the conversation the other night. And, she was like, well, and again, Samantha, there's something wrong with her because he was trying to, I guess, explain why he went there with the whole erectile situation. And he was like, well, you was coming at me talking about something. I can have you anytime I want. That was disrespectful. She was like, well, I still feel that way. I still feel like I can. He was like, see, that's what I'm talking about. And again, she one of them women that feel like all she got to do is, toss her head, smile, and she can get any man in the room. And he's letting her know, look, no, you can't get me. Like, I am in a relationship. I love my girl, And so he's just told her, look, let's just keep this. I think right now we probably don't need to work together. We don't need to deal with each other. Like, I wish you luck. I don't wish any ill on you, but for right now, we just don't need to really be in each other's space. And so now you messing with your money, Miss Samantha, because that's what she said. She said, even though we work for different agencies, we still work together. And so us not, showing property together or whatever, that's gonna mess with our money. And I was like, well, you did it. He tried to be nice about it, and you kept talking. So they've decided that they're not gonna work together in any capacity, and they're just gonna keep it real cordial when they see each other. Then we have Mr. Andrew. Andrew did a whole hear ye before they left and called everybody together and let everybody know, like, look, it's been brought to my attention that there's a rumor out there about me and Anjanae. Now, mind you, Anjanae been sitting there chilling the whole time, ain't really said nothing to nobody, and she was like, say what? There's a what? Because my thing was, you so worried about this rumor, you ain't tell her about it? You let her be blindsided? You didn't let her know that this was what was going on out there? And so he went on to say, basically, I love my fiance. She's the best thing that ever happened to me. I've screwed up everything in my life. I'm not gonna screw this up, And if y'all are my friends, y'all will understand that. And if y'all not my friends, let me know and I can act accordingly. He went on to talk about how he was in the foster care system, how he's been homeless, how his family don't even speak to him anymore. But she's the only thing he's ever gotten right, and he ain't gonna mess it up. And everybody was sitting there like, what? Like, how we get to you being in the foster, like how we get to foster care, like, huh? And I kind of feel the same way. I'm kind of like, how did we get here? Like, that's really deep. You know what I mean? And like I already told you, Sarah was sitting there like, we does, but think he protests too much. I know that's not how it goes, but y'all know what I'm saying. And then of course Ajane was like, well, I want to know who was saying what, because whatever was going on between me and Andrew was between me and Andrew. Now, on Andrew's side, he is like, no, hell no, no, it never happened. Ajane is acting like something might have went down, but that it ain't nobody's business. Because at one point, Eric did ask Ajane, he said, I peeped the other night, you and Andrew were kind of talking, kind of whispering to each other. What was all that about? And she sort of got defensive in her confessional and was like, I mean, that's me and his business. Whatever happened between us, what we talked about. But what Eric was trying to do was, Eric was like, she didn't really get off to the best start. Her and Taylor getting into it that night. And, so he was like, I just want to make sure that it wasn't a negative conversation, because I really am trying to protect her relationships with these people, because she has to maintain a positive professional relationship, because if not, that will end up affecting her money if people don't feel like they can work with her or can't talk to her. But she was like, no, we had a good conversation. Andrew was very encouraging and very supportive. He was like, oh, okay, cool, I just want to make sure everything was good. And I believe him. I don't think he was thinking like trying to be in her business, like, so what y'all was talking about. I really think he was trying to make sure y'all good. So anyway, y'all, that's kind of how it went down. We'll see how this plays out. Like I said, I don't know if Ajane really have some secrets on Mr. Andrew, but we gonna find out. Y'all know that. Because see, Ajane is one of the people that's gonna want people to know what's up. Especially if she starts to become the villain. And if Taylor have her way, she gonna be the villain. Anyway, let me know what y'all think. Drop it in the comments, please.